The Be Happy podcast. Why would you listen to it? A lot of people are just going to look at the thumbnail, they're going to look at the title, and they're just going to dismiss it out of hand. That could be you. Just scroll on to something else that's more important, a more meaty subject, because that's just a stupid thing, isn't it? Fluffy, woolly, how to be happy, the happy podcast. Here is some reasons why you should listen to this podcast and not just dismiss it out of hand, especially you young people. So look, listen to this. If you are young or you're old, here are the reasons why you should listen to this podcast series. Here's some facts and figures for you. Do you know that 800,000 people, yes, 800,000 people around the world kill themselves every year? Yeah, 800,000 people. That's one person every 40 seconds. Do you know that 6,000 people kill themselves a year in the UK, and the figure is rising, and that this figure's more than the people that die in road traffic accidents a year? Do you know that suicides, they are up 10% in the UK, and that men between the ages of 45 and 49 are 3 times more likely to kill themselves than anyone else? Do you know that suicide rates in the under 25s is up 23%, and that suicide is a major cause of death in young people? Do you know that 1 in 8 children between the ages of 5 and 19 has a diagnosable mental health condition? Do you know that 264 million people around the world of all ages suffer from depression? Do you know that 1 in 4 people will encounter mental health issues in their lives? Do you know that 1 in 8 people will experience a major psychotic episode in their life? There was a study of 10,000 workers, and it found that 85% of office workers are unhappy in their job. In the US, in America, a study revealed that more than half of the workers in the US, in the United States of America, half the workers are unhappy at work. In the UK, the figure's 13%, or 4.3 million people. That's right, 4.3 million of us are unhappy at work. So, big welcome to the Big Happy podcast. Oh, happy days. I suggest that these figures, when you think about them, are a very good reason for you to keep listening to this podcast, the Be Happy podcast, because the aim of it is to help you not to be one of these statistics. To many people, the subject of happiness can seem to be frivolous, fluffy, stupid, or unimportant. Something that's easy to dismiss and easy to switch off, just to scroll on to something more important, funnier, or happier to listen to. But, as I said, these figures, they suggest the fact that there is a real possibility that you are unhappy in some form or another right now. And if you want to get happier, why would you not keep listening and subscribe to this podcast? Because what have you got to lose? Nothing but just a little bit of your time. But maybe, just maybe, a word, a sentence, or a phrase could have a huge, massive impact that could inspire you to take the steps that could majorly improve your life. If you are sitting pretty right now in your life, if you were young and feeling invincible, because that's how young people generally can feel, if you are successful, and indeed, if you are feeling exceptionally happy right now, do not turn away from this podcast, dismissing it as this has got nothing to do with me. Thank you very much. Because if you have not already gone through some troubles in your life, or you are not going through some troubles right now in your life, believe me, there is a very good chance that you will experience unhappiness or depression sometime in the future. The aim of this podcast is to forewarn and forearm you not to be a statistic, so that you can be in a strong position to fight off any negativity that can come your way. And it will for sure come your way, because that is life. The aim of this podcast is to be an introducer. It's playing the role of an introducer, to introduce you if you are looking for, or indeed you need help, to introduce you to different ways of thinking and doing and seeing, and to people by way of guests on the podcast who can talk with authority on all subjects that can lead to a better way of life, a happier life, and or help you to stand guard at the gateway of your mind to prevent those negative forces from entering your world. And all of this includes making your dreams come true. That's the sexy part of it all, because making your dreams, as we all know, sure can make us happy. So here's a plea from me. Please go to Spotify. Please follow the David Late Be Happy podcast. Because when you follow the podcast by sharing it and recommending it and liking it, you will make the logarithm work harder, and it will spread the podcast out to many, many more people. So the aim is to reach as many people around the world as possible. I'm wanting to help you. This podcast is wanting to help you. In return, please just help me just by subscribing on Spotify. That's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Please, please, please stay safe. But above all, be happy. Because if you ain't happy in your life, what's the point? I'll see you in the next podcast. Goodbye.